Hey there, my name is Daesvail, and I'm here to guide you through the Champions of Lei Shen achievement, added in 5.2. As you see on the screen now, I have listed each rare spawn's name. If you wish to see only that rare spawn's information, click on the annotation over its name to skip right to that rare spawn. Before I cover the rare spawns, I will go over traits that they all share. First off, the loot they drop is pretty standard. 1 Shanzei Ritual Stone and 15 Valor Points. Every player whom contributes to the kill, even cross-faction, will be able to receive the loot. Second, the rare spawn's health will scale according to the number of players attacking it. This means the more that attack the rare, the higher the health to compensate for the higher damage it is going to be taking. Finally, whenever you kill a rare, you will receive a short-term buff that reduces damage taken and increases damage done, both by 10%. First, we have Altabim the All-seeing. This rare will spawn at 44.8, 29.8 on the coastline across from the Horde base camp. He has 3 abilities that he will use. First is Doom. This debuff is cast on anybody who engages him, has a 2-minute duration, and once expired inflicts 440,000 shadow damage. This debuff cannot be prevented or dispelled short of immunity shields. Second, he will cast Meteor Storm constantly during the fight. This causes meteors to fall from the sky, hitting for high fire damage. Last, he casts Shadow Bolt Volley. This is the only interruptible move, but still only hits for low shadow damage. As long as you pull off approximately 53,000 DPS, you'll prevent Doom from detonating, as it is cancelled when you leave combat. Avoid the meteors and interrupt the shadow bolts, and Altabim will be one of the easiest of the rares on this island. Backbreaker Uru will spawn in the Ghostly Veins mine at 43.1, 35.5, and has 9,725,000 health when engaged solo. He will use 2 abilities when you engage him, the first of which is Break Spine. This move will always be the first ability he casts, will root you for 15 seconds, and put 100% parry and dodge reduction on you. After casting Break Spine, he'll use his second ability, Massive Stomp. This deals 185 to 215,000 physical damage to all enemies within 30 yards. However, the ability will only affect targets on the ground. Taking on this rare solo will require quick movements to avoid Break Spine, as it only has a 6-yard range, as well as a well-timed jump to avoid Massive Stomp's damage. While he can be killed solo, facing him with at least one other player can easily make his moves far less deadly. God Hulk Ramuk is found at the Conqueror's Terrace, 61.6, 49.6, and has 8,431,000 health when engaged solo. Ramuk brings 3 abilities to the fight. Pound is the ability you will see used most often, but is easy to avoid. He will target the position of a player at the start of the cast, and if Pound connects, it hits for 138 to 161,000 physical damage. His second move, Crouch, needs to be interrupted as quickly as possible. Not only does it reduce damage taken by 50%, but heals Ramuk for 5% of his max health every 3 seconds. The last move you will encounter is Blessing of Thunder. This will increase all damage he does by 100%, while also slowing him by 50% and having him take 50% more damage. God Hulk Ramuk should not cause you too much trouble. Interrupt Crouch, move out of the pound, and kite him during Blessing of Thunder, and this troll will be another notch in the belt. Goda is a huge dragon turtle located in the Dire Moor at 54.1, 53.0, and has a whopping 10,539,000 health when engaged solo. Goda will use one offensive move and one defensive. The offensive move is called Shell Spin. This will cause the turtle to spin rapidly, hitting those too close for 101 to 118,000 physical damage, as well as knocking them back. The defensive move is Crystalline Shell. This reduces magic damage taken by 10% and stacks up to 5 times. Tanking Goda inside the large tree he spawns by will make handling Shell Spin much easier, as it will be hard for him to spin outside of the small door. Simply run outside the tree during Shell Spin and dispel Crystalline Shell if needed, and soon enough, Goda will fall. The Haywire Sunreaver construct will run wildly along the beach at Igla Craig. 51.8, 91.6 is near the center of where he runs, and engaged solo, the construct has 10,539,000 health. This construct only knows one ability, Haywire. This will cause 18.5 to 21.5 thousand nature damage every second for 20 seconds in a 40-yard range, while also buffing the construct's movement speed by 100%. Try to pull the construct away from any Sauroch on the beach, with plenty of room to move about. When Haywire begins, CC the construct in some way and move out of its range. After Haywire falls off, begin DPSing it again, and repeating this until it falls. Kulai the Skyclaw is located at Zatul, 36.2, 82.3, although he does patrol along a small part of the beach. This rare spawn has 7,167,000 health when engaged solo, but also has a Tarrowing mount with 2,107,000 health. It is worth noting that the mount's health does not currently scale, but I will update the video if it does start to. Kulai's first ability is Leaping Rend. This is cast if you are farther than 15 yards away from him, and causes you to bleed for 22,000 physical damage every second for 10 seconds, as well as him jumping over to your location. To follow up, Kulai's second ability is Blade Wind. This move is similar to a Warrior's Blade Storm animation, and inflicts 50,000 to 59,000 physical damage to nearby enemies. The Tarrowing mount comes into play for the last ability, Spirit Bond. As long as the mount is alive, Kulai will take 50% less damage from all sources. Due to Spirit Bond, take out the Tarrowing first. After his mount is dead, stay close to avoid Leaping Rend from being cast, but kite while Blade Wind is being performed. Luban spawns at 54.3, 35.5 at the Thunder Forges, and has 6,745,000 health when engaged solo. As long as you stay in melee range of Luban, you will only encounter one of his two abilities. Skyforged Hammers will cause melee attacks to inflict 30 to 35,000 nature damage. If you move farther than 15 yards away from Luban, he will cast Stormbolt. This will inflict 152 to 177,000 physical damage and stun you for 3 seconds. You can either eat the damage from Skyforged Hammers, or if possible, you should kite him during it. Although as long as you do not go farther than 15 yards away from him, this should be a very easy kill. Molthor spawns at 63.5, 49.2 at the Stormzy Landing, having 8,010,000 health when engaged solo. Molthor shares his abilities with those of the Zandalari Warbringers, having only 3 of the 5 abilities. Horrific Visage is an interruptible fear. Meteor Shower calls down meteors that deal high fire damage. Scarab Swarm summons 10 low-health scarabs that will attack the player. Thunder Crush hits for approximately 250,000 nature damage in a cone in front of the caster. Vengeful Spirit summons a heavy-hitting spirit. Depending on which moves Molthor has, the strategy will vary, but overall, all the abilities are very easily avoided or countered. Inside the Court of Bones at 35.1, 62.4 resides Mumta, who has 6,475,000 health when engaged solo. 3 abilities will be thrown at you. Darkest Darkness is the first. This reduces healing taken by 99% for 20 seconds for any players who engage Mumta. Mumta summons a Vengeful Spirit to assist him. The spirit will move very slow, however it will hit for 130,000 shadow damage every melee attack. Spirit Bolts is a channeled, interruptible AoE, which will hit for around 12,000 shadow damage. Killing Mumta should be fairly easy. Darkest Darkness can be dispelled, and as long as Spirit Bolts gets interrupted and the Vengeful Spirit kept away from yourself, there should be no reason Mumta should come out as the victor of the fight. The 10th and final rare spawn for the achievement is Progenitus, located at Ichlacraig 51.3, 71.2, with 7,588,000 health when faced solo. This Sarok brings 3 deadly moves to the fight. Evolution will increase his damage done by 10% and will stack up to 9 times. Mutagenic Burst is a ground-targeted AoE, inflicting 50 to 59,000 nature damage and knocking those hit by it into the air. Unleashed Blood is the most deadly, inflicting 50 to 59,000 nature damage to enemies within 10 yards and knocking them back. While the moves do not sound too dangerous alone, take into account that he spawns on top of a cliff and you must avoid the Unleashed Blood or fall to your death. As long as you move from the void zones and have decent DPS to avoid high stacks of evolution, Progenitus also will fall to your knees. I do hope this video helped you on your way to the Champion of Lei Shen achievement. Any changes to the rare spawn will actively be updated in this video. You can again click on any of the names on the screen now to go to that rare's info, in case you want to check something. Or click on the video at the top of the screen to subscribe to my channel. This is all for now, and I wish you luck at becoming the next Champion of Lei Shen.